Hello everybody, this is Ramilla, and I have a bit of a newbie guide here for Cosmic Trial on Psylocke. I go through this a little fast, but I only have 152 Infinity Points spent, and that's all on the Temporal Loophole node, and that's in the Time Gem. So that's attack speed, move speed. There's no synergies, and the talents used are 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, going from top to bottom. That's a little bit different from most standard talents, but this is slightly simplified rotations. What we're going to do, I'll explain later on. Now, the main strategy here for Psylocke and Cosmic Trial is that we're not going to set the world on fire with our boss damage. Instead, what we do here is we use this skill right here, this sort of globe thing, Sonic Vortex, and it has the extra benefit of it has the ability to pull enemies into a group, much like how the Jessica Jones and Quicksilver team-ups do. And throughout this entire trial, what you're going to see me doing is I'm going to be spamming that skill, pull the enemies into tight groups, and I'm just going to kill them all at once very quickly. Now it doesn't work in these large mechs, but on the ways with the soldiers, like the ones we just got through, you're going to see that I'm just going to pull them all into one group without using the team-up's help, and just kill them very quickly. And because we get through all those ways very quickly, where they just die fast, and we're not really like going from enemy to enemy, chasing them down and all that, and so they just die as one group very fast, that the bosses are going to spawn very quickly. Both the Adam Hydra and Red Skull are going to appear with over 3 minutes left, almost about 3.5 minutes on both of them. That's spoiler alert there. But, I mean, and that's kind of how Psylocke wins at Cosmic Trial. Because even though we're not killing the bosses very quickly, we're killing all of the stuff leading up to the bosses very quickly. And you can get through Adam Hydra and Red Skull in 3 minutes. Very easily. It's not too difficult. Now, for the rotation I'm doing here, I'm using Psylocke as a filler, then Sonic Vortex to apply vulnerability, Sonic Projection, which is a invisibility to help set up assassinate bonus damage, and it drops the projection as well.
I can't do that.
Then Katana Typhoon, which the projections also copy, Sly Thrust, which sets up assassinate, and then we hit assassinate, which is sort of the big hit on Psylocke, and then finished up with Falling Lotus Strike, which the projections also copy, and it forcibly moves them as well. So it helps make sure that they're sort of in position for the next round it does, that you go through that with the Katana Typhoon.
I can't do that.
Even though that's a lot of button presses for 4 seconds, because this is a rather fast rotation, it's actually very consistent and even, because the cooldowns actually line up very, very cleanly. Everything's on a 3 or 4 second cooldown, so once you kind of get the hang of it, just doing it once, there's not a lot of brain power involved, you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's fairly fast, but it's a little zen, because you just do the same thing. It's a little mindless actually, once you get used to it. For my normal sorts of rotation, I use the second power in the bottom tree. That is more button pushes, because that has Katana Typhoon charges attached to it, and resets involved with that. So you have to push a lot more buttons and be a lot more mindful of that. This is a simplified rotation, it's a little bit less DPS, but because it's simplified, it's a little more accessible, I feel, which is why I'm using it in this video. Now you can see I just killed the second bodyguard, who appeared about minute 13 left, and Madam Hydra had probably somewhere between 20-25% health remaining, and I have over a minute left to do that. That's a very comfortable margin. Again, I'm not really killing her very quickly, but I had so much time left on the timer for when she spawned that it's pretty comfortable overall. Anyway, so with Madam Hydra dead, it's the same sort of process with Red Skull's part. When the soldiers come down, I'm just going to spam the Psionic Vortex, pull them into a group and just kill them. See that, they get pulled into a group and they're just killed all at once. Next wave comes down, just pull them into one group and kill them all at once. It's incredibly fast, and you just march through them very quickly, basically. I can see I went through that wave in about 15 seconds. Next wave comes in. And again, they're going to be dead in about 10 to 15 seconds total. I think this wave right here is a really good example of that. Enemies come in, there's this line of vortex, they're in one pile now, and then they just die all at once. Super easy with Psylocke. I know lots of people are reluctant to play her with like sort of endgame stuff because she requires a lot of farming to get the most out of. But for something casual like this, Cosmic Trial, you do not need the best of anything to get through it. I'm already at 48 kills, it hasn't even been 80 seconds. And the Sonic Vortex doesn't work on the max, but I'm basically there. I only need 2 more kills in order to make Red Skull appear. And I'm going to have 1 over 3 minutes to finish him off. There he is, it's almost 3 minutes, so... well, you can kill him pretty easily in over 3 minutes. Again, even though his boss damage is not impressive, because we're getting to the boss so quickly, you can comfortably kill them. And again, I'm not using a legendary and I'm not using my ultimate throughout all of this, and I finish it very handily and comfortably, with about 30 seconds left on both timers. And spoiler alert, that's with some desync on Red Skull that's going to pop up, you're going to see. So anyway, Red Skull, he doesn't really do a lot of damage, he's not really a threat to kill you, he's just sort of a time waster. 33 and 66% health. He has health gates, he puts that shield up and he summons the Sentinel. Sentinel's not terribly difficult to kill. And you can see, I go ahead and I do it even with my team up being so incredibly distracted. And it's not very difficult at all. It also helps, by the way, like with Psylocke's case, because Assassinate is one of your big hitters on her. It has an execute on it, so as enemies get weaker, I mean, you end up killing them faster. The second 50% of somebody's health, it goes a lot faster on her than the first half of it does. Anyway, the desync that I mentioned is going to be coming up real soon here. It's going to be on the second Sentinel. Red Skull's almost up, 33% health. Yeah, there it is. So watch what happens with the Sentinel right here. It starts off rather normal, then it does something a little weird. It starts walking away from me, and I don't really think too much of that, but it's super annoying and a time waster. But then all of a sudden, it just disappears like that. And if I'd been paying more attention, I would notice the footsteps at the top of my screen, also the butterflies flying off in that direction. But the desync is still here. Notice that, like, my standard attacks, my side strikes, I'm not hurting it. So this is a giant waste of time. I actually lose a lot of time on this. It's not till right about here that I'm actually able to damage it normally again. I lost probably about 15 or 20 seconds doing that, which is rather annoying. But it's not going to matter because Red Skull's going to drop with about 28 seconds left. So, anyway, as this is wrapping up, I do hope that this guide does help some people who have some interest in playing Psylocke but are maybe turned away because they think that she's a little weak or a little hard to get through a trial with. But really, she's just sort of misunderstood, and it's not that difficult as you can see. So, anyway, I do hope this helps some of you. Thank you again for watching.